Welcome back to the Gala Performance MR2 Championship. Now the third encounter of the season sees us here at Rockingham Speedway. It's a combination of fast oval track with a tight, twisty and technical infield section. We've already seen an explosive display of racing this season already, and I can't expect this one to be any different. So let's get straight into the action, and Andy McEwen.
Thanks, Anthony. Here's how the grid looks then. Josh Brooks and Sean Traynor on row 1, ahead of Mick Nichols and Paul Cook. Then it's Ben Rowe and Graham Mailings and Shane Mansbridge and Paul Calloway. Matthew Smith and Chris Thomas round out the top 10, ahead of Tim Herron and Matthew Allen and the rest. And they go on and on and on, all the way down to the 18th row of the grid, because this weekend we're not splitting the grid as we have done at the first two meetings of the year into 3 groups that each race each other once, and it all gets a bit confusing. This weekend, 2 races, 2 full grids of 36 cars, and here we are on board with one of them, Paul Calloway, as the red lights go out and away we go, and Mick Nichols dives down to the inside of the road. What was that all about? Mick Nichols going from the extreme outside of the road right the way down the banking to the inside and nearly wiped out 2 cars in the process. Back on board with Calloway. Up the inside goes Chris Thomas, banging wing mirrors already, but I did notice we were 3 abreast for the race lead. That will never work. Paul Cook, the grey and white car in the middle. On the inside is Sean Traynor, on the outside is Josh Brooks, and it's going to be Cook that gets into the corner first, but Traynor that comes out of it first, because Cook outbrakes himself, runs out onto the grass. On board with Neil Stratton now as he tries to make his way through a bit further back. But that was a very, very energetic start. Oh, Cook into the back of Traynor, both sideways. There's cars on the grass everywhere. Calloway we're back on board with. There's a gap on the middle, but it closes. There's more contact. Cook on the outside. Oh, they're banging into each other like dodgems. Someone had to end up onto the grass. And we do indeed have one car spinning around. But my goodness me, that was very, very physical stuff indeed in the opening few quarters. I've quite frankly no idea who came out of that with the race lead. We'll check in with that in a moment. I think it's still Sean Traynor. I think Traynor has managed to hold on to the race lead, but behind him it was utter chaos. No, Josh Cook goes through. So Josh Brooks goes through. So Josh Brooks leads the way. Traynor's second. Up the inside there into third comes Graham Mailings, ahead of Mick Nichols down to 4th. They're 3 abreast again. Look at this. Calloway, Paul Calloway. We chose the right car to put the onboard camera into for this race, didn't we? Look at this. Another one on board now is Shane Mansbridge. 3 abreast through Tarzan will never work, but no one's told the drivers of the Gala Performance Toyota MR2 Championship that. They're still trying it on the exit of the turn. Paul Cook, one of the big losers there, though he's dropped down into 6th position as a result of that, when he was running in 2nd place. Back with Calloway as they jostle for position down through the Brook chicane for the first time. It's a 13-minute race plus 1 lap, a 15-minute race plus 1 lap, beg your pardon, for the MR2s. Dicing away with us now, we've got car number 3, Ben Rowe. 3 times a winner this year so far is Ben Rowe, but struggling a little bit for pace this weekend. That could open up the championship hunt, because he arrives here 20 points clear of Tim Herron in the championship. Where's Tim Herron? Tim Herron's even further back. Meanwhile, the dicing is still continuing as now car number 6, Chris Thomas, goes up the inside of Paul Cook and tries to come up the inside of Mick Nichols as well. As contact, they went through it out wide. Someone else locks up further back. That's not Ben Rowe, is it? Yes, it is. Oh, that's championship leader Ben Rowe off onto the grass, car number 3. They're all throwing themselves at the scenery here, and Ben Rowe is off the road, and he's going to plummet down the order. This is an absolute disaster for the championship leader, whose weekend at Rockingham has gone from bad to worse. Back with Shane Mansbridge now through Chapman Curve, and we've got plenty of jostling going on in front of us. Paul Cook there, the yellow car, weaving this way and that, trying to find a way around Mick Nichols, who got elbowed out of the way down at the Dean hairpin that time around, but they've all managed to come out just about the other side. Back with Calloway now, and then Neil Stratton running further back. Neil Stratton, of course, in car number 36, is running one of the older cars, one of the older Class A cars, the Mark 1 cars, but one of the lead contenders in that class. So car number 6 then, Chris Thomas, getting his elbows out. There's number 46, who we were riding on board with, or we were following for, Matthew Smith, who we were riding on board with Paul Calloway, who we ride with once more, coming out of Tarzan. This is the battle for the race lead. It's easy to lose track in this race, isn't it? But it's Josh Brooks that leads the way. It's Sean Traynor, a resurgent Sean Traynor, who's in 2nd place. I knew he didn't dare move away from this battle for too long, as something was bound to kick off. Calloway there, nearly getting into the back of Shane Mansbridge in front of us. And meanwhile, at the front of the field, side by side for 2nd place, Graham Mailings is going up the inside line here, and the man from Northampton is trying to move his way through into 2nd place, but Sean Traynor's having none of it, carries the speed around the outside. Remember, those Mark II MR2s are a little bit quicker in a straight line, but the Mark III, the convertible versions, the the Roadsters are a little bit better through the corners. It all equals itself out over a lap, but that meant that it was difficult really for Graham Maylings to make his way through there. So down through the right hand as they go, and well, we need to catch our breath, I think, after what was a very dramatic opening part of the race. There is Ben Rowland. You catch a glimpse of him there, the black car with the gold stripes, running just ahead of the number 55 machine there, which turns its way through. That's Dave Hemingway. We're on board with Neil Stratton, and we're trying to take what I think is the class lead away from Hemingway. I think these are the top two Class A cars, and as they make their way through Piff Paff and down towards Kirby, the battle could not be much closer here. This is why we love the Gala Performance Toyota MR2 Championship. It's always exciting racing. It's not usually quite as robust as it was in the opening lap, but they seem to have calmed themselves down a tad as we move into the middle portion of the race. Still a three-way fight for the lead though. Graham Maylings again looks at the inside of Sean Trainer, can't do it. Sean Trainer arrives here just 10th in the championship. He's an awfully long way off the championship frontrunners, but with drop scores still to be taken into account as the year goes on, he could yet move his way back into contention. Down towards the Brooks chicane they go. Brooks is leading the race. Josh Brooks has had a bit of an up and down season, so he's not really featuring in the championship battle either, nor is Graham Maylings. So all three of these drivers are drivers who really could do with a good result or two here at Rockingham to try and put themselves back into championship contention. It's Chris Thomas leading the next group in fourth. Paul Cook is fifth. Mick Nichols is sixth. No, not Ben Rowe. Who's that running next in line in seventh place? That is that's the 46 car, Matthew Smith. As they head down towards Dean, and Paul Cook looking up the inside there of Chris Thomas and really weaving around on the brake there. The pair of them, but Thomas can't get the car stopped, runs out wide. Cook will try and get alongside now on the run down towards the right-hander at Yenwood, which he does, but that's the wrong side of the road. It's the outside line for the next two corners. He's trying to close the door. Thomas is always going to come back through on the inside line there. They're still side by side as they head up towards the right-hander at Chapman. Meanwhile, Neil Stratton is now dicing away with Adam Lockwood in the number 11 car, and he is going to just about hold on to the plate. Mansbridge gets sideways, always gets into the back of him. He's nuzzling up the inside, but there's still no way through. Taryn Aldworth will not relinquish the race lead, or the position, I beg your pardon. This is the battle for the race lead, and Sean Trainer could not be any closer to the back of Josh Brooks' car as they come out of Tarzan and down towards the Brooks chicane. There's at least one more lap to go after this one, so there is time yet for Trainer to find a way through. So they turn into the chicane now. Trainer a car's length behind as they flick it back out onto the pit straight. And Brooks, well, he's not quite as quick off the corner. Trainer's in the slipstream, and Josh is going to have to get down to the inside line to defend, you'd imagine here. Last lap board by the looks of it is being held out. So one more time around the Rockingham International Super Sports Car long circuit here for Josh Brooks and Sean Trainer, both looking for the first win of the season. Sean Trainer has had a second place earlier on this season, but Brooks has only had a third place finish. So Brooks already on for his best finish for the year. He's really late on the brakes down towards the Dean hairpin. Can he stop the car? Oh no! Josh Brooks straight onto the grass. He throws away the race lead. I don't believe it. That was just the pressure telling from Sean Trainer, who was all over him down towards the hairpin, and Brooks ran out wide onto the grass, and not only will he lose the lead, he's going to fall well out of the podium positions. So Sean Trainer, that was beautiful racing there from Trainer though, because there was not a hint of contact. He didn't even really pull alongside. He just applied the pressure and kept applying the pressure until the driver in front made a mistake. And as of course, as you get further on into the race, the pressure builds anyway. The last thing you want to do is leave the door open or brake a bit too early on the final lap and allow the other car through. And I think that's what was going through Brooks's mind then. He did not want to brake too early and leave the door open, so he braked as late as he dared. But it's so hard to find a braking reference into the Dean hairpin because it's so wide and there are no real landmarks there to take notice of. So yeah, that was dramatic stuff there for Josh Brooks. Unfortunately, he throws away what looked as though not a certain race victory, but a certain top two. He throws it all away. Down towards the Brooks chicane then comes Sean Trainer for the final time. Paul Cook, by the way, has found a way ahead of Graham Maylings for second place. So it's going to be a Class B 1-2, and it is going to be Sean Trainer, who for the first time in 2018 will see the checkered flag to win race number one here at Rockingham in the Gala Performance Toyota MR2 Championship. Trainer is back to the top of the podium. It's been a long time coming, but the former champion is back back to winning ways. Paul Cook is second, Graham Mayling's third, Josh Brooks recovered to fourth, with Chris Thomas fifth, McNichols next ahead of Matthew Smith, Tim Heron, Darren Aldworth and Ben Rowe recovered to 10th after that early off. Then it's Matthew Allen, Paul Calloway is next in line ahead of Thomas Maylings and Aaron Bowman-Smith, then Shane Mansbridge and Gary Patterson, Matthew Rowe and Andrew Ruthven. The Mark 1 battle, by the way, was won in the end by Dave Hemingway. He finished down in 19th place overall. Neil Stratton was second and Daniel Bryan came through to third. Tim Tracy, Adrian Barnes, Daniel Farmer, Philip O'Halloran and Neil Hurren were all non-finishers after what was a sensational race.
Well, Sean, firstly, congratulations. It was some race, but you got a feel for Josh.
Yeah, okay, you've got a feel for it. You know, he drove really well, really well. I don't know if he was watching his mirrors a bit. He said he broke at exactly the same place and it just didn't stop. So, but it's hard on the brakes out there, so maybe he just overheated them. And there was a few times I thought I was going to go a bit deep myself, but it was the same points as he went deep, so we were staying together. And I was sort of also keeping a bit of an eye on my mirror because I had Graham all over me for the first probably 3 or 4 laps. And then we sort of made a bit of a break, and then I kept looking in the mirror, and then I see Cookie had got past him, so then I thought to just keep it together because I knew how fast he was going to be.
Well, Paul, it was a perfect slingshot manoeuvre to get you into third place, and then you inherited second. Good race from your point of view.
Yeah, a really enjoyable race. I kind of first lap, I got the jump on the first and the guys in front of me, and come to the first corner, and I think I just outbroke myself and went back in the pack a little bit to about 7th, and then worked hard from there.
Well, Graham, third on the podium, first in class. What a race that was.
Yeah, it was great. I think at the start I probably had the legs on the front, the two in front, but they were so close I just couldn't pull a move off. I think they were holding themselves up. I missed a gear, and then that created the break, and it went a bit it wasn't so good after that. I'm a sitting duck on the straight. That's my problem. In the roadsters, you're quick through the infield, but if you've got a Mark 2 on your back, we're going down the straight. I'm in 5th gear before I take that first corner. 5th gear is a nothing gear, and I'm a sitting duck at the end of the straight. So that's where Sean did me. That's where Paul did me.
Race number 2 for the Gala Performance Toyota MR2 Championship about to get underway here from Rockingham. Paul Cook and Josh Brooks make up the front row ahead of Sean Trainer and Graham Maylings. Then Matthew Smith and Mick Nichols ahead of Shane Mansbridge and Ben Rowe. Tim Heron and Chris Thomas are on the 5th row. Row 6 for Paul Calloway and Matthew Allen. And then the rest of them filing in behind. Well, race 1 was a dramatic encounter, won by Sean Trainer in the end from Paul Cook and Graham Maylings. But remember, it was Josh Brooks who led going on to the last lap, only to make a mistake down at the Dean Hairpin and throw it all away. Remember as well just how entertaining the opening half a lap or so, or opening few laps really were of race 1. Are we going to see more of the same in race 2? Let's find out then. The 5-second board is held out over the starting gantry. The red lights come on, they go off. Now we're away and racing for the second time at Rockingham. It's an even start from both front row men. Paul Cook in the grey and yellow car on the left-hand side is just going to be beaten down to turn 1, I think, by Josh Brooks on the inside line. So Brooks it is who will have the lead. Everyone else getting through turn 1, 3, 4, a rest maybe further back. But down towards the Dean Hairpin we go. And on top to a single file, it's already a calmer start than we had in race 1. Brooks ahead of Cook. Cook dives to the outside line. Then we've got Sean Trainer in 3rd place. Graham Maylings on the inside there. They're trying to take that place away, which I think he might do. So Maylings goes 3rd. Trainer, the race 1 winner, down to 4th. Look at them all skating out wide down at the midfield there. Through the right-handers now. Ben Rowe locking up on the inside line. There's all wayward stuff going on behind, but I think we've just about got through without too much contact this time around. Now into Chapman, on board with Paul Calloway. As they turn through the right-hander now, through the left-right flip-flop at Piff-Paff. Side-by-side battle further back. That's Chris Thomas, who's not had a great start. He's dicing away with Shane Mansbridge, the 34 car. And 92 is Paul Calloway, who we just rode on board with. 65 in behind them. That's another car that we're following fairly extensively in race 1, Matthew Allen. Race leaders turn their way through Gracelands for the first time. Then it is Josh Brooks leads the way. Paul Cook 2nd, Graham Maylings 3rd. Sean Trainer's on the grass in 4th position. Then Mick Nichols in 5th will try and take advantage, which he will almost be able to do into the Tarzan hairpin. And a big look up the inside, but Trainer just about gets to the inside and crucially gets the car stopped as well. And then I think it's Ben Rowe in car number 3 who is in 6th place. Yes, it is. Remember, Ben also had an early off down at the Dean hairpin in race 1. And the championship leader coming into this round, well, he will have been quite happy that his nearest championship rival, Tim Heron, could only manage 8th. But Graham Mailings, who was only 22 points off the championship lead, did finish 3rd in race 1, and he's running 3rd in this one as well at the moment as they come through to complete lap number 1. So Graham Mailings starting to become a bit more of a nuisance in the championship now as far as Ben Rowe is concerned. Rowe comes across the line in 6th place, then it's Matthew Smith in 7th, 8th is Chris Thomas, and these two did battle briefly in race 1 as well. And 9th place looks to be Mansbridge, and 10th place is possibly Callaway in 92. Down into Dean Hairpin we go once again. Someone's screeching tyres in front of them. Oh no, no, it's Josh Cook! Josh Cook, would you believe it? For the 2nd race in a row, the Dean Hairpin is where he throws away the race lead, but it's all changed at the front look because now we're 3 abreast for 2nd, with Trainer on the outside, but Nichols on the inside. Paul Cook and he make contact. Does that damage Nichols' car? Hard to tell at the moment. He's carrying on, but Josh Brooks, that has become his bogey corner. This time, though, it's a lot earlier in the race, so at least he's got time to try and recover, but that has handed the race lead to Graham Mailings. Graham Mailings has got the Roadster out in front. We have not yet had a race victory this season for one of the Class C Roadsters. This could be the potential, at least, for the first one of those this year. However, we've still got Cook and Trainer dicing over 2nd place, so Cook hanging on to it for now. Trainer, though, right behind, and then a real train of cars behind, because we've got Mick Nichols in 4th, but Ben Rowe up the inside of him now, down towards Tarzan, and I think he might be about to take that place. Meanwhile, Trainer's nearly to the back of Paul Cook. Oh, no! Oh, big contact, big contact. That's Matthew Smith into the side of Mick Nichols. Plenty of other cars have to take avoiding action. That's Callaway across the grass. That was contact there, I think. Well, I think it was possibly Ben Rowe who got into the side of Mick Nichols, turning round, and then everyone else just piled in. On board with Michael Japp now as he heads down into that part of the circuit, waves a hand at the drivers behind because there will be yellow flags out, because there, Mick Nichols, that was his 2nd bit of contact that lap. But Mick Nichols out. Now, let's see, so Rowe goes on the inside. Mick closes the door, there's contact between the two of them, and then Matthew Smith nowhere to go, bang into the side of Mick Nichols' car. That was a hefty whack. Callaway has to take to the gravel to avoid, several others do behind as well. Darren Aldworth, that is possibly going to the grass, very wide at least, so well, Smith continued, but with a damaged front end, and there he is, look, he's still in the battle here. That's Josh Brooks recovering back on the inside of him though. Brooks is going to try and take another couple of positions out of this if he can, on board with Paul Callaway, who we also saw was delayed in all of that, so it's kicked off well and truly again here in race 2. Down in towards the right-hander in Yenwood. Josh Brooks on the outside now of Matthew Rowe, that is, 51. With Callaway into Yenwood, and well, again the order gets jumbled up by a little bit of contact in the early stages when everyone's so close together. Though if someone gets sideways, everyone else, it's a job for them just to avoid contact, and unfortunately Matthew Smith, there was nothing he could do to avoid that contact, but he is a quick driver looking to try and move forward, like the black and pink car behind him with Josh Brooks. Towards Gracelands now comes this little battle. That's Matthew Allen trying to get past Aaron Bowman Smith. Ben Rowe there locking up a break in the foreground as they came down into Tarzan. Wherever you look, though, there are battles going on, and Matthew Allen there having a peek on the inside of Bowman Smith. Then we've got 92 Callaway up the inside of Thomas Mailings there in the 77 car. All of this battling is further delaying the cars trying to chase after the race leader Graham Mailings. Back through Brook they go again, and out along the pit straight once more. We got 9 laps in race 1, and since it doesn't look as though we'll need a safety car, I think Mick Nichols' car, either he's driven it out of the way or the marshals have moved it out of the way. We should hopefully get the full 9 laps in again this time. Down the pit straight we go. Paul Callaway we're on board with again. Terrible news that is for Mick Nichols though, because he, like Sean Trainer, had some work to do points-wise after some iffy results early on in the season. They were, well, Mick Nichols was 9th in the championship going into this weekend, and Sean Trainer 10th. Well, Sean has already had a race victory. Oh, look at that! Oh, Thomas Mailings with big contact, and that was, well, I've never seen 2 cars go that far off the road down at the Dean hairpin. What on earth happened then? All of a sudden, Thomas Mailings came out of nowhere and wiped us out. That was an enormous impact, and well, let's hope both drivers are okay. Neither of them surely. Well, Paul Calloway is going to carry on remarkably. I don't think Mailings will be. But Paul Calloway, who, let's not forget, was one of our contenders for a decent finish in the Mark 1 category earlier on. Well, race 2 has not gone to plan at all. Lucky he didn't do any damage to the radiator or steering or the suspension. He's just been able to continue with a slightly crumpled front end. He's still making good progress, actually. Across the line they go. Now, there is Paul Cook. He's the race leader on the road, but we are hearing he's been excluded from the race. He is being excluded from the race, and this is for an incident that happened earlier on in the race. And Paul Cook is not going to be classified as your race winner. So real drama then for Paul as he turns his way through. That now means the battle behind is now the fight for the race win, and it's Sean Trainer who heads the group. There's a back marker that they go past, but Ben Rowe is all over him. This is now for the race lead, and Ben Rowe really wants to try and get himself back onto winning ways, having won three times already this season. He's not had a great weekend here at Rockingham, and now he senses a chance to take a victory. Graham Mailings, of course, who was the early race leader, is now not far behind him in third as well. So Paul Cook, he may be leading on the road, but he is not going to be allowed to keep this race victory unless there's some sort of post-race appeal process made. But it doesn't look as though Paul Cook is going to be able to take the checkered flag. He'll take it on the road, but actually the race victory is going to go to one of the three cars dicing away behind him. And look at them, they're side by side. Sean Trainer and Ben Rowe's gone through, has he? He's side by side. No, he's on the outside line though, down towards Brook, and I think the Trainer's going to hang on the way into the corner. It's going to be a bit of a drag race to the line. So Paul Cook comes out of the final corner. He's going to see the checkered flag first, but provisionally he is being excluded from the race results. So the battle for the race victory is going on behind. Cook sees the checkered flag, but the race win is going to go to Sean Trainer. Sean Trainer with a much needed double race victory. Ben Rowe second and Graham Mailings third. The top three separated by less than a second. Shane Mansbridge is fourth ahead of Chris Thomas, Darren Aldworth, Tim Heron, Matthew Smith, Aaron Bowman-Smith and Matthew Rowe rounding out the top 10. Then it's Andrew Ruthven, Neil Stratton, Adam Lockwood, Dave Hemingway and Gareth Baxter, ahead of Paul Laurie, Daniel Bryant, Daniel Farmer, David Rowe and Dominic Early in 20th. Philip O'Halloran is next, then Scott Hughes, Patrick Furman, Michael Japp, Stuart Briley, Mick Nichols 26th and a lap down, Patrick Stoner and Adrian Barnes, Matthew Allen and Paul Calloway non-finishers, so too Thomas Mailings, Gary Patterson, Tim Tracy and Neil Hurren didn't start, Paul Cook and Josh Brooks both excluded from the race.
Well, Sean, here we are again, second place this time. Firstly, congratulations. You're on two wheels at one point, you nearly put it in a wall. You lost power, got it back just at the right time.
Yeah, it did, yeah. It's, I mean, it seemed, you know, I seemed down on power. It's, I mean, I'm maybe looking at how it went on that last lap, maybe I'll have to have the dyno checked. But it was close, and I thought I'd got a decent start, but Paul and Josh got away. Then they had an incident on the first corner, which sort of brought us all back in, I think. And then we made a bit of a break. I think Ben had was with Mick at one point, and it was, I thought, oh, we're making a bit of a break. It's sort of, so I was quite happy, sat where I was, and then I see him get through, and I thought, yeah, he'll be coming. So I thought, right, just keep your head with you. And to be fair, I lost it a few times. So like I say, hitting the sausage curve, put it on two wheels, and then nearly putting it in the wall. But then sort of decided, you know, got myself sorted, and like I just got to take me out. Like really, if it weren't for the two lads that sorted my car out, I'd be, I wouldn't have been where I was today, because the handling was what did it for me today.
Ben, firstly, congratulations. Hectic race out there. You've got to be happy with third.
Yeah, really hectic. 750 racing, or MR2 racing is always quite tight. I mean, you look down the grid, I think it was the second down to ninth in qualifying, so it's always going to be tight. And, you know, sometimes you're a little over-optimistic about what will come off, and other times, you know, it does come off. I mean, like I say, Sean, I couldn't believe he stopped for the first corner when he come past me. It was witchcraft. I think he must have thrown an anchor out the window or something. It was absolutely amazing. But that's why the guy's won the championship twice, so you have to work hard to beat him.
Unfortunately, that brings an end to the racing here at Rockingham Speedway. A huge thank you to the 750 Motor Club for putting on a great performance again. Please join us next time where we catch up with the action from the home of British motorsport, Silverstone.